every area, and that will be incorporated in the reports that we had already compiled and submitted to the national government. Si lana namuhla ukuzobheka zonke lezi indawo ezikhahlamezwe isimo sezulu kusukela ngoMgqibelo kuze kuba izolo. Izolo siqalile sisebenzisana nomnyango wakwa transport, umnyango wakwa Cocta, as well as umnyango waka human settlement nomasipala wethi usibheka ukuthi indawo la bengakwazi ukungeneka khona kuyavulwa kuzanywe ukuthi abantu bakwazi ukungena nabaphumayo bakwazi ukuphuma. Indawo eaffecteke kakhulu kulempela sonto indawo yangale south okuyi indawo yase Bluff okuyiyona eshayeke kakhulu nendawo zangapha north of eThekwini okuyindawo yala esikhona uMdloti nendawo yaseLamisi nendawo yase Westbrook noThongati. Siyaqhubeka nokulekelela ukuthi abantu abakuma shelters bakwazi ukuthola konke abakudingayo ukudla nakho konke. Kodwa lokhu kueda emsebenzini besithi siyawenza ukuvuselela. Ngokwe infrastructure limele ukoqala ibridge laseLamisi ilona belishayekile lingasebenzi. Umnyango waka transport ubusuqalile uthi uyalungisa. Loyo mzamo nalokho bese kwenziwe nakho uhambe nezikhukhula. Kodwa ke sizoqhubeka kuleli sonto sikholwa ukuthi esikhathini esingangenyanga ibridge eliconnecta uMdloti neLamisi lizobuyiseleka esimeni. Kodwa sibonile futhi ukuthi uM4 between iLamisi noThongati nawo ushayekile. Lokho kukhanda ukuthi kube likhulu ukuthi usebenze kunamuhla. Kodwa sikholwa ukuthi leyo part izokwazi ukuthi ivaleke kuleli sonto ze abantu abahlala endaweni yaseLamisi bakwazi ukungena baphume bengavalelekile. Enye indawo esibhekayo ibridge elbetween uThongati neZimbali. Lona ke kubukeka kuzosithatha isikhathi esithe xaxa ngenxa yomonakalo omkhulu owenzeke kulo. Kungase kusithathe isikhathi esicela ku6 months. Siyafisa futhi ukuzwelana nabantu bala isikakhulukazi lapha eMdloti abalahlekelwe impahla zabo, imoto, izindlu abahlala kuzo njengoba sibona umonakalo ube mkhulu. Nomasipala uzongena eindlekweni ezinkulu ngoba siyabona nje iinfrastructure kamasipala la bebenza bekwazi ukuphehla khona amanzi bawadlulisele ebantwini ibuye futhi yacekeleka phansi. Okubi ukuthi lokhu kueda emonakalweni obuvela ukhona lo ebese siqala sithi siyawulungisa. Kodwa noma kunjalo sizozama ukulungisa senze iassessment esheshayo sikwazi ukuthi isimo silungiseke indawo ibuyele kweziko. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much, Honorable Premier. Let's just take a quick question.
No, Premier, thanks. Firstly, I just want to find out how far back have these floods actually set us in the recovery efforts? Well, sorry, the recent rains, how far back has it set us as a province in terms of recovering from the April floods? Secondly, when it comes to the accommodation of those that have been displaced, you said that there are plans for temporary housing to come into play, but there were also issues around, I know we had like a deadlock with some residents that were complaining about where houses go and all of that. Has that been resolved? And I think lastly, on that point, how many more people would be added as a result of these rains to those that are currently displaced? I remember that figure being about 40,000. Thank you.
On top of his question around those displaced, do we have a figure of people possibly missing? Have any of those reports come in at this stage?
There was a circulating Facebook post, Premier, that says Sihle Zikalala was also affected by the recent floods. Can you confirm, was it really a Sihle Zikalala post, but also to what extent were you affected if it was?
Okay. There's another question. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, owamumbuzo nginomfundo ukuthi ngezwa ukhuluma ngama-bridge adestroyeke njengamanje, but information engisanda ngithola kune-bridge nayo kulona eMdloti was destroyed ogunjini, kunemoto emuke nabantu. That bridge nani itheni ngilungisa in 1 month and 6 months and 3 months, but njengamanje akukenzelisi. Mhlawumbe how far ngalokho?
Okay. Thank you. If I can start, there were reports which were also circulating that there were people who were stuck here at uMdloti. Those reports were not confirmed because our teams were on the ground, so they were not a true reflection of what is happening. Those who needed to be evacuated were evacuated using our teams that were on the ground working with communities. We haven't received a report of people who are missing for now, besides the report that the Premier has made reference to of one person from Inanda Waseme who was also discovered on our rivers. That's a person that we can say it's a report that we can confirm, because there is a body which is already in the motion. Otherwise, there were no other fatalities reported, as the Premier has alluded to that. The treatment plant, which is behind us, has been severely affected. You'll recall that in the previous disasters in April, we put some remedial measures so that people will start receiving water. So all those have been washed away. So our teams will come back and reinstate some of the work that have been done before to ensure that people do access water in the areas affected. With electricity, many areas which have been affected, we have reinstated them. So we are remaining with few at night yesterday. We are certain that by end of today we'll be certain that all areas will be covered in terms of those which were affected by the recent heavy rains. Thank you.
Thanks. With regard to this severity and the extent on which this is going to take us back, this is going to delay, of course, the rebuilding process. The fact that we had started and the floods took place again on its own meant that the work that was being done had to stop. That was delaying the process. But the worst is that we are incurring more cost because that work that had been done was washed away and the damage is so huge again. So it takes us back, but we'll continue to try and ensure that we repair the infrastructure that is damaged and rebuild it. With regard to Ogunjini, we went there with MEC Nkonyeni and the HOD and the team from transport. Indeed, we committed that there will be 2 phases. Phase 1 will be to construct a small bridge to allow people to go, and then phase 2 is to build that bridge that is big. Unfortunately, when phase 1 was to start, in terms of tender process, someone took the matter to court. Hence, it could not start, but they are finalizing it. So the first phase that will be to build that small temporary bridge is expected to start soon, in a month or so. Thereafter, the construction of the main bridge will start. I think all questions have been answered. The one you are asking, it's not a personal issue. I think the community in Lames as a whole was left with no access. We could not, all of us, could not go out or enter. So those of us who were in the area had to work to ensure that we clear the roads yesterday, and we managed that by the late, I think afternoon yesterday, we managed to clear the road and we're able to again have access in and out of the area. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues. The rest of the issues will be covered in the statement that will be comprehensively. Okay, so we are going to Bluff at the moment. All the specific areas.
Premier of KwaZulu-Natal Sihle Zikalala, they're giving an inventory of what they found to be.
Onevalelekile
Oh, ilokuzali istorm lesi sishaya ekuqaleni ngoApril. Kwafika ikenge kwa laba becisha umlilo namapipe nenjini basidonsela amanzi. Ngoba inkinga esishaya kakhulu la. Umgwaqo lo sakheduze kwawo awuqondile. Incontract yafika zwakho umgwaqo la. Isiyilungisa itiyela. Yafika yawugubisa umgwaqo. Uphakeme phambili wehlile la ngakithi. So amanzi mayiqhamuka ngenhla afika ngene ekhaya. Awadluli. So ingakho ke nje kunje obanibona nje kunjena kusikhathi sisemanzini. Izindlu zonke zifaked up iphela indaba yazo. So ke asazi nje njengamanje sokwenze njani. Silindele nje ukuthi sizathola lo usizo ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi adonseke lamazama.
Kafushane mhlambe ngaphambilini khona usizo ngeke nalithola abakhona ogandaganda seke bafika ithini kahle hle mhlambe uhlaka olukhona la emphakathini lwezobuholo ke bafika bazonisiza.
Samthinta ukhansela okuyena wasiza walanda laba abafika basidonsela amanzi kuloko oqala ngoApril wasiza ke lapho ukhansela waladonswa amanzi aphela ithe ibuya after kwesibili ngicabanga sekungosithathu manje ithe ibuya kwesibili ke kwaphinde kwafana futhi kanjalo lapha zange sithole lutho kusiza njengoba sekumanje sesikwazi sokuphinde sekuyafana futhi ukhansela la ukhona ke njengoba sebezosibheka akukandakanda ke wafika uzosiza wazosidonsela lamanzi lo zophusha ke bonke kwezekalana santanda namanje
Isimo ngaphakathi mhlambe niyakwazi ukukhona ukungatha ngoba izindlu ziziningana.
Manje wasilapha nje ngaphandle
Vusi Khumalo there speaking to residents just in terms of effects of the floods at the weekend, and as it happens with live television, sometimes some unintended words will creep in, and we apologize for those, and we apologize for the weak audio as well. We'll try and go back there in a bit. Now, Sutherland and the surrounding communities stand to benefit from a brand new wind energy program. The 4.4 billion rand project has started feeding about 150 megawatts of clean energy into the electricity grid. The Department of Mineral Resources and Energy officially launched the Roggerveld Wind Farm in the Northern Cape.
Turbines churning out 147 megawatts of wind power for the electricity system. Construction started in 2018 and was completed earlier this year, creating hundreds of jobs. The concrete 100-meter towers were manufactured in Cape Town, while the 62.5-meter blades were imported. The department